Hi everyone, this is Austin with Sun Fun Kits. Today we just want to give you guys a brief overview of a wattage test on the SFK-260HP. Again, if you're planning on using high power continuous, the HP is recommended. It is slightly higher grade of cells and higher balancer. So we'll just do some random tests, kind of see what kind of wattage we can pull. And let's go ahead and begin. So we're scanning and we're going to connect to one of the batteries that basically has just been built for a customer who had ordered a quad pack. So here it is. Go ahead and connect to it. So even though it's saying 99%, it's not really 99%. It's more like probably like 80, 70, 80%. And we're going to do a discharge on our electronic load. But let's go to details and see where we are. Cells are sitting about 3.32, so fairly normal. So we're going to start off with a conservative, let's say 600 watt load. Okay. And run a test. So now we can see we're drawing about 620. Now you'll notice a slight difference between what the BMS reads and what this, and that's really has to do with how the wires work and some loss. But you can see the cells aren't really getting hit hard. It can pretty much do this, not really hurt it, and just happily, keep supplying. So we're gonna stop this test, and now let's go to a 1,000 watt load. Okay, so now we're at a 1,000 watt load. So the device will say about that, and the cells for the most part they're pretty much happy staying in place. Doesn't really bother them. They can do it, and again you can run this continuously for the entire age of the entire capacity of the battery. We don't recommend it, but it's possible. The HP is designed to provide higher power for longer periods of time. So we'll just monitor this. And like I said, about 78 amps. So we'll cancel this. Okay. Now let's go to the upper limit of the battery, a full 1,500 watt load. Now this is not something we recommend you run continuously. You can do it for about 30 seconds, maybe 45 to a minute, but understand you're now pushing the upper limits of the battery, probably going to be drawing close to 120, 122 amps, which may trigger the high voltage, high amperage disconnect, which is in our pre-built kits set to 125. But anyway, we'll go ahead and hit that, and we'll go ahead and run that test. So now we're drawing 1,970 watts, and you can see the cells are about 3.26, so they're a little lower, but again, they'll still be able to supply it. The only drawback of this is, you're running up there. I mean, you are in territory we don't really like to see it for extended period of time. These will get hot, even though these are 2-gauge American welding cable. For long part, I mean, these will start getting a little warm. So it's not that the battery can't do it. It can certainly do it. I mean, you could even go up higher. We could even do 150 amps if you wanted to. We just don't really like it. It's only used for a small period. If you needed to run a coffee pot off a single battery, you could do it. And like I said, it's going to keep going. It's pretty much stabilized, and as you can see, the cells are not minding this at all. They're like, whatever, we can keep doing it. Slight variation. Now, this is not something you should do with the SFK-260. So if you're going to be pulling amps like this for a long period of time, you definitely want the HP. That's really the recommended difference. So HP, if you're looking for long, extended, high amperage loads. SFK-260 regular, if it's just occasional and you're using it in the a few hundred amp range. So let me go back, end this, and you can see we're back down to 0 amps. So the ideal range that you should shoot for in any of our batteries, if you're going to be using continuously or you're going to set up your battery bank, is try to keep the load around 500 watts. That's where everyone is happy. nice low amp draw, things don't work, don't get hot, and you're in the green zone, you know. So in our little app, we have a green zone, yellow zone, orange zone, red zone. We want you to keep it in the green zone whenever you can. Could go up to yellow. Try not to be in orange, and don't. And red is only temporarily. You shouldn't be in red for a long period of time. But again, if this is something, depending on your requirement, you're looking for, that's the major difference between the SFK-260 and the 260HP. The HP is going to be able to provide more power for longer. The cells are very similar. It is that the HP has sort of a higher batch spec of cells, something that we've tested internally, and we find these cells are a little stronger. So they're the latest N version, versus the 260 uses 280 LF280, which are the earlier N versions. Still pretty good, not as robust. So really, it all depends. So for example, if you were just drawing 600 watts, either one would work. If you're drawing 1,000 watts, you could do either or, but if you really need more than 1,000, probably should be looking at HP. Okay, thank you.